Hello everyone, and welcome to my State of the Craft Room address. Shall I be really honest with you and show you the mess in my craft room after I have finished pretty big projects, and I have flea market things that haven't been dealt with, and I still have things from Lehman, from those big boxes that Lehman's sister sent me. I have a couple of smaller boxes that I have just set aside. So without wasting time, let's just kind of go through, and I'm going to maybe discuss some possible upcoming journal projects, and I'll show you what I worked on organizing last night while I was watching TV that gave me some ideas of things I need to do. So let's just get into it. I'm trying to decide if I want to go right or left. I'm at the bottom of the stairs here in the basement. So let's go left. Over here is where I keep stuff that's going in my shop. So there's a crate down there. I do want to put something here that is not just stuff on the floor, but I have that wooden crate, and it has some things that I need to list. And there's some washi tape down in there that I have just destashed. And there's a pile of scrapbook paper underneath what you see on top. Scrapbook paper is hard for me to destash because it's heavy and it's 12 by 12. So I have idea for what I'm doing with that, and I already started on organizing it for a destash, so I can talk about that in a minute. But so this is all stuff I'm getting rid of right here. I just need to organize it, and I'm in between projects, so I'm going to try to do some more listing before I start the next one. Now this was full of stuff I was listing, and that has already been listed and sold, so there's space. I have those books to sell, so I can put them into the crate and get them off the floor at least. And you've seen this unit, and there are empty drawers in here. I keep forgetting that I have empty drawers here, but it's just this used to be my tower of shipping supplies in my other space. Of course, not with the boxes, but it held a lot of the other things, and it still holds some of it, but I need to really focus on using this unit for the best that I can. It's got some little glassine bags that I use for packing things. They're a glassine bag, or little plastic Ziploc bags inside that box. Little shippers, little mailers, I guess, and some items to sell. And then the rest are pretty much empty. Some more stuff to sell down here, which are like little trinkety things. I'm sorry, you can see my shadow. There's a cutting board there. That's where I have my laundry, and my landlord had cats, so there's a little cat door cut into that. Now here's where we are going to get messy, because this is where I have a lot of my fabrics, not all of them, and I've really been putting off organizing them because I don't know how to do it. I have fabrics in the nook, and I have all of these fabrics, and I just don't know how I want to organize them. I actually bought some comic strip board. I think they're comic strip boards is what they're called, and people that collect comic books would put them in the cellophane bag or whatever bag they use with a comic book to just kind of give it some strength. And I bought those boards so I could wrap fabric around them, but I haven't even started doing that because I just don't know where. I don't know. I haven't started it, but that's a project I want to start soon. And inside down there it's pretty good down there. It's recipe stuff and homemaker stuff for journals and basically that kind of sewing stuff. Down there are two pouches. They are fabrics. One is fabrics for farm journals, and the other is fabrics for something else. They're not both farm. That's farm. That one's Raggedy Ann. I put that one in the wrong. So Raggedy Ann and farm fabrics, and they just don't fit in the Raggedy Ann box and the farm box. They're just too full. that right there is Christmas stuff. So I'm just collecting that so I can make bundles to sell closer to Christmas. This is a tote that is things from Lehman, but then I have added things on top as I take books apart that I bought at the flea market and cut things and things like that. They're just things I've been working on, but I can't deal with them when I get them down here because I'm busy working on a project, and I just stack them on there. Okay, now you're about to see a mess on the floor because my little shelves here, they just hold decorative things. I don't want them to be storage. I've always wanted a craft room where I could store decorative things. But they were on there with command strip hooks, and they just kept falling. One would fall, and then another would fall, and I took them all down and put some cup hooks in the wall. But there's stuff that was on those that is just there waiting for me to pick them up and do something with them. Oh, so that's on my list of things to do this week. And that is just a box of little boxes, and I ignore it because I forget about it. I forget that it's there, so I need to get into that and look at it and see if there's a better way to store them so that I don't forget I have them. And this is pretty good here. It's got my extra glues and stuff, tapes and blades on top, and then that box up there does have stamps, like clear mount stamps, and I always forget about them too. But they're there, and they're all organized. And this shelf is organized just the way I showed it to you the last time. It's pretty good. So I have no complaints here. This table, I try to keep it fairly clear so it's ready for me to use. It's my packing table. It's got all my packing supplies, the boxes and the bigger envelopes and things down there. And I had it full of patriotic stuff while I was doing the patriotic journals. I showed you a video as I had everything laid out on this table to use. And that worked out really nicely. But now it's got little piles here that I have to deal with as I'm cleaning up from that project. So I can tell you what my ideas for the next journals will be while we're here. I thought I might do some golden books next. And I've had these for a really long time, and I would like to use them and get them done because they're very unique. They are Wonder Books. But this one is Just Like Mommy, and you can see it says a 2-in-1 Wonder Book. So you flip it over, and you have Just Like Daddy. And this one is Good Morning, and of course, Good Night. So I've done topsy-turvy types of books before. I think I got like four or five of them in one big batch of books that I got from somewhere. And I have these two left, so I'd like to get them done. And I want to keep them topsy-turvy like that, which I have done with the other books. And then I thought I would do 4 golden books, maybe, next. And I have Little Red Riding Hood to use. And I have a lot of Little Red Riding Hood ephemera and stuff that I would like to use and put in some of it in there. And Paper Doll Wedding. So those are possible next, or it could be these. I have these magazine images, and I have 4 of these also. So that's an advertisement for Ivory Flakes, but it's a pretty lady. And I would probably do these as file folder journals, or there's another material that could be the cover that I'll show you as we go around the room. This is the last of my seed catalog covers. I bought them 1 or 2, I think I bought them 2 years ago at least. And probably 3 actually. But this is, I made journals with them and I sold some of them. But this is the last one, so I thought maybe I should use that. And I also have this advertisement for Wrigley's Gum. I love that scene. I love the colors. I have a soft spot for farm scenes. And I thought, what a fun journal cover this would be. Oh, I have 5 of them actually, so I don't know how many covers or journals I would actually make, but these are my last 2 American magazine covers with the pretty girls. So I would like to use some of these. So I'm thinking I might do the golden books next because they're a little more relaxed for me. But I don't know. I haven't really decided. I want to do some cleaning and organizing first. This came from my mom's house. It has a lid for it, and it has this handle. And there's one in there, so they fit, but they don't fit two together side by side. At least I don't think. So that I brought them home. She was just getting rid of them, and I brought them home just to see if they would help me. If they don't, I won't use them. And then I have just some supplies that I had out for the patriotic journals, just for me to put away. And while I'm working on a project, I inevitably have things that I need to sort and put into their categories, but I don't do that usually while I'm working on a project. Most of my time goes into working on the journal. So I've got things here that need to be sorted into their proper category and put away. So I'll do that before I start the next project. Little odds and ends just collect. And this pen can go right in the drawer where it belongs. So this will come up in a minute as I go around the room. This little collection is things I sorted out of something else last night while I was organizing. So we're coming back here to the bottom of the steps, and my book organization here. Those are the Mickey Mouse journals that I made for my daughter and I. We haven't done anything with them yet. Oh, and I really want to. But you see here, this was full of golden books and wonder books and things like that. Some of these smaller children's books too were up here. And I have destashed a lot of them. So this is what I have left. Those 4 that are on the table, plus these of wonder and golden books. I was pretty proud of myself. These I have to go through again to do my super purge. When I decided I was going to get rid of a lot more, I did the golden books, got rid of a lot, and I already sold them, so I can't take them back. But these I have to go through. I don't know how many I'll be able to get rid of, but my heart just loves the book covers, and I have ideas for them. There's another set of shelves that are decorative. There are buttons here, and I think there's something in here. Yeah, I can't remember. And I can't just take the lid off with my hand. But there's some buttons up here. And those buttons I showed you, these little things. So there are some things I can use there, but those two are falling off. So they're all replaced now with cup hooks, so they're hanging on there. Now this is what I was talking about with a possible other medium or material for the covers instead of file folder, and that's these bags. I really like the padded envelopes, but they don't use them anymore, Amazon. So I thought, I've been collecting these. I'm going to go through them and straighten them out and throw away things that I don't think I'll use, but, recycle them. But I might attempt doing covers with that. And in this basket is file folders and just things like that I can use for covers and all kinds of things. That's where I go. I need to have that outlet open, so I just need a little space here. I needed something to fill that space. Okay, this is pretty good here. I could do some more destashing here, but it's kind of hard because it's art supplies mostly. And I don't really use the art supplies, but I always say I'm going to. And I do want to. I have my sprays, I do use them. And I do use things here, but not all of them. And I've got books down here, art books. And art papers. These are just very large pieces. I'm going to cut out the image and make them smaller so I can store them better. Okay, so down here, I'm just showing you the messes. Those envelopes there are orders that my shop collected over the weekend. So they are packed up and ready for me to label and mail out tomorrow. These are big wallpaper pieces, like from the big wallpaper books. They don't fit in my drawers. And down here is where I started amassing things for journal supply kits with the scrapbook paper that I mentioned. I have a stack of scrapbook paper to destash. So I have sorted out 20, I think it's either 20 or 25 sheets for a kit. So it's not too many to make it too heavy. And I have a book cover, and I'm sorting other materials to go into that kit. So I have wallpaper borders there, the book covers are there, and I have other papers. But when I organize my fabrics and things, I'll select some fabrics to go in there, and I'll put buttons in there, and I don't know what else, but I'm going to make nice journal kits. I think those are the paper kits that go with the scrapbooking papers. So I have 10 of those with assorted papers, and there's ephemera in there too. So all of this is the beginnings of a large de-stash kit. Tell me what you think about that. Is that something you'd be interested in? A kit full of scrapbook paper, other papers, ephemera, wallpaper pieces, and book cover. So this is good. I've organized this pretty well. And the beads are still good. These things I really need to look into because I don't get into that as much as I should, and I need to get into it, remind myself what's in there. It's like broken jewelry and metal pieces and things like that. I need to remind myself what's in there and sell off what I don't use. Up on top is a box of beads from Lehman, which I haven't sorted into my container yet. So my Raggedy Ann and Andy pictures that I got at the flea market are still on the floor. I've decided I'm going to hang them on this wall because I can't reach across this table to access things like that thing hanging there. I can get it from the other end, but it's a little tricky. But I'm just going to hang decorative things on that. I did clean up all the dies that I used for the patriotic. This was a mess, but I cleaned that up last night. So this table is pretty good. Now I want to show you this. I've been working on my table and it's looking better, but while I'm cleaning, I'm also collecting things like the little bundles to go with the journals that I made, and also the patriotic bundles that I just sold last night. This plastic milk crate is usually under there at my feet, and it has all these assorted bags in them. And they were getting pretty messed up, mixed up, and sloppy. So I started organizing them last night. This one here was a bag that Sheets or Comforter or something came in, and it's all coffee dyed and just dyed papers, like full-size sheets mostly. And I organized that last night. This is strips. So they are like decorative strips that you can buy that are usually stickers, like the K & Company ones are stickers. Then I have a bunch that I got at a flea market a few years ago from, what's her name? You might recognize this artistry. Can't think of her name right now. But she sold on HSN or QVC or something. Anna Griffin. So these are all Anna Griffin ones. And I had like 4 of each piece, so I destashed some of them. I have them in that pile over there you saw. So I just went through this and organized it nicely and only kept some, not all of them, and I have some empty ones there. So that was just a good place to keep it. I don't know if I'll move it somewhere else. Then I'm not going to like get into everything and show it to you, but this is cut off strips, like the almost full 12-inch strips. Some of them are a little shorter, but they're just cut off from scrapbook paper. If I need a strip for something, I can look for it here. This is scraps of gift wrap. So going through this was really interesting and fun because I decided there's so much vintage gift wrap in there that I want to do a session making ephemera with these pieces. This is just coffee dyed scraps, and these are slightly bigger coffee dyed scraps and other dye, like Rit dye. I think this is the pouch. Oh, it's that one. This is the smaller ones, smaller pieces, and this is the bigger pieces that I can back journal cards and stuff with. So those are all organized. But I found things in there that didn't belong, so I removed stuff. And these I don't understand. I don't understand these. So I have to organize them. And I think I'll have at least one less bag in here. So there's collage stuff in here, and collage stuff in there, and collage stuff in there. So I don't really know what the difference is. I don't know how they started out. I don't remember. There was a difference in them at one point, but that's what I have to figure out. So I'm thinking I want to do some de-stash, or what do I call them, Stashistry videos using some of this stuff. I need to thin it out. So I'll put the strips back in here for now. Make sure I put them in so the opening is facing up. So I do want to use some of the stuff in there, and that will go back underneath there. Now, underneath this part of the table, I've got more assortments of stuff that need to be organized. So there's a box of stencils there. This box here has Tyvek. I just bought Tyvek envelopes because I tried to buy the 8.5 by 11 sheets. They don't have what I used to buy, and the ones that were available were super expensive. It was cheaper to buy envelopes so I can cut them apart. I just would prefer to have the sheets. But there's also cardboard in there, chipboard that I can use for spines and stuff. That has painted papers and scraps of file folders, and this has scraps of file folders, so I need to organize that. Those are scrapbook papers that I bought at a flea market recently, and I haven't had a place to put them because my paper drawers are full. Those are papers that I pulled out to select from for the recent journals, and I have to put them back. Those are my paper drawers, and they're full. I can put those back in, but I can't put those in, so I need to go through them again and pull more paper out. So then the table, like I said, I started clearing it off and organizing it, but it's still a big old mess. There's my 35mm camera that I use to take pictures for Etsy. It's a mess. That's my patriotic journal I made last year. I got it off the shelf to maybe get some ideas from it, but I've done a lot more organizing of the paper crafting side than on the sewing side. So I've got a pile of fabric and trims and stuff over here to put away. There's my rickrack drawer on the floor instead of up here where it belongs. It's just a mess. I told you I was going to be honest. Okay, so over here is a big, big mess. I'm just going to show you. Fabrics on the floor. That trim box is sitting on the floor open. And my chair is unsittable. I just got this card box down. It goes on the top of that cubicle thing over there, which is usually where it is. I just took it down yesterday to get a card out of it. But I have trays there that I got from Amazon that I want to use to sort. Where are they? Oh, they're over here. I've got lace pieces and appliques and little flowers and things like that that I want to sort into trays to make it easier to find what I want. So that's the tray that goes on top of that trim box, but there's no room for the tray. So it's just floating around. But the units are good. I need to organize that fabric better so I can put those fabrics in there. So that's going to be a big project that I'm going to be working on for a while. But that dresser is in good shape. So that's the state of my craft room. Did I show you this? My Disney pins are finally hanging up down here. I'll get closer so you can see them. I love my Disney pins. Okay, so I'm going to stop the video right here and maybe come back to do a little bit of crafting. I said I was going to mention that little pile that was on my table. That right there came out of what I was sorting last night, the bags in the milk crate. And I thought I would get out some index cards and just collage some strips and bits of paper onto the index cards and have them ready. One thing I found when I was going through this stuff were full sheets, 8.5 by 11 sheets of collaged paper. I'm not sure what I put them in. I must have put them back in one of these because I had to clean up so I could go to bed last night. So it's like 8.5 by 11 copy paper, and I just collaged strips of papers that were left over from projects, and I had 3 or 4 sheets in there that I forgot about. So I'm going to put them, I'll just probably cut them up into tags and pockets when I find them again. So that's what I'm going to finish this before I start anything else. And I want to do that mess down there. But then I think the fabric has to be next. Well, of course, I have to finish my desk. That's, before I do any project, I always clean my desk up. But I do want to start on the little golden books, so I don't know how many days I'll spend just cleaning and organizing. Okay, well, I am back because I want to show you this pile that I had left upstairs last night. So this is what I was looking for, to show you what I pulled out of those pouches in addition to these things. So also, let me show you, I did get the lid out of this, and it's more buttons. I've got to organize my buttons because I didn't even know that this had buttons in it. Isn't it pretty though? I love it. And this box has these bone buttons that I just bought. These are the little pieces of card that they were on, or the box they were in, or something. It was apparently very fragile because I got all of these in a baggie and all these pieces of the box were in it. That's a busted up rubber band. But yeah, those are buttons made out of cow bone that I just got at the flea market. One thing I want to ask you is, see, I have this little container, which maybe some of you have seen and maybe you haven't. But this is what I keep my little strips of paper for Let's Use It and Stashistry. And if you don't know what they are, I will tell you. Now, I made up the word Stashistry, and I also have Scrapistry videos where I use my scraps, because the what do you call it? The back part of the word, it means artistry, being creative with something. So I'm being creative with my stash, and I have a list in here of the things I have a stash of that I want to create with. And so I would take one of these periodically. I dump the baggie into this bowl and pull one out. So let's do that, and then I can plan on a not too far in the future video using this part of my stash. And then I'll explain what the Let's Use It part of this journey is. So just let me know if you would be interested in seeing this come back into my video repertoire. I just dropped one. Okay. All right, I'm going to reach in and grab one and see if it's one I want to work with. It is envelopes. Okay, I can do something with envelopes. So let me show you just some other examples in case you're wondering what I might have in here. Wrapping paper. I am going to do something with wrapping paper really soon, so maybe I wish I drew that one. Vellum. Leather. Oh yeah, I've got small pieces of leather, like they were leather samples. Garden cards. I don't think I have any more of those. I'll keep it in there. I think maybe I have a couple. It would be good to use them up. They were in that greenhouse box. Napkins. I don't use a lot of napkins, but I still have some. Fabric scraps. So those are ideas of what I have in my Stashistry baggie. I'm still going to work with wrapping paper because I'm going to show you some of that stuff that's in this pile right here. But I will do something with envelopes too. Sometimes, like, I don't do things with envelopes very often. So that is an impetus for me to really think about things I could do with something. So there's fewer strips in this. And I'll have to write down I'll keep a notebook down here when I pull one out, because by the time I get around to doing the video, I probably won't remember what I pulled out. So for this one, I'm pulling out alcohol inks. So this envelope contains supplies that I want to play around with. So alcohol ink is a good one. There's all kinds of things I could do with that. I'll show you some other examples. Watercolor paint, another good one. Gold foil. I don't even know if I have any of that anymore. I'm keeping it in there, and when I pull it out, if I find that I don't have it, I'll just get rid of that paper. Journaling stamps, I love that one. See, some of them, like if I pulled journaling stamps, I'd be ecstatic, and I'd want to do it right now. Some of them I really have to think about. Perfect pearls. So those kind of things, supplies that I have that I need to use. And they're just like, what do I want to say? They're media and tools, I guess. Envelope punch board. So I could combine that with the envelopes, but no, I really want to use ready-made envelopes and make something with them. And postal stamps. So let me know if that's something you would like to see come back into my videos. And I'm going to write down on this piece of paper for now, but I'll get a little notebook that'll be permanent. Alcohol inks and envelopes. And I could use them together, but I don't need to. They could be separate videos, and they probably will be separate videos. Okay, now I want to show you what is in this pile that I pulled out of those pouches. First of all, this is the pile that was on my table that you saw earlier. They are strips of cut off papers, and I could make master boards with these. Pretty pastels and coffee dyed pieces. And these two little strips cut off from a vintage calendar, which I love these. So I could just put those on the edge of a book page. I would love that. So I'm going to keep those where I can see them. These are little vintage stickers, so I could stamp on those. This was stamped on a piece of music paper. I think it was this paper. It was just stamped on it, so I cut it out last night, and I'll put it in with my stamped images. A little strip of vellum was in with my strips, but I think I want to do something with that on a page. I don't want to glue it down to a masterboard, so I'm going to keep it with these. And, oh, I found these little strip booklets that were made, and they were just in with my scraps. So I could put them in with my supplies that are already made. Just little skinny strips with ledger paper, coffee dyed paper, and a little piece of wrapping paper on top for decorative effect. So I was glad to find those. And these, they're not scraps, so they don't belong in those bags. This little thing was in there in these. It's a little card that came with gift seals. So I could make ephemera with them or just insert them as they are, and they could be a journaling spot. They don't belong in with my scraps. And neither does this. I could make ephemera with that. And this is just a scrap of paper that I already stamped on. Excuse me for my raspy voice. So it can go in my ready-made stuff or my stamped supplies. I'll put it in with my stamped pieces. I found these little pages that came from a tiny little pocket-sized notebook, little map pages. So I want to make booklets with these. They need to be reinforced because that one is splitting. 1, 2, 3. They're all leaflets, so I can make 4 little booklets with those. So that's going to be a project to do. I'm not going to put them away. I'm just going to make with them. I'm going to make with them. More strips that I can create with. So I think I'm going to have a session using my strips like this, and whatever I don't use gets tossed because I don't need to keep all the strips. Printed acetate. So I'm going to keep these out where I can craft with them, and if they don't get crafted with soon, they just get thrown away or recycled. So these are the 8.5 by 11 pages I was talking about. I like using it to back onto some of my ephemera. So I use them as the base for these masterboards, and they're not as heavy as cardstock. So I have that one and that one with calendar pieces, texture paste, a map, a little receipt, all kinds of stuff on that. And I was trying to do some masterboards with these pink and yellow receipts that I got at the flea market last year. And this one even has an old receipt from Faye's drugstore. Wish I had a date on it. Oh, it does, 1983. So lots of cool stuff. There's even a whole receipt for mail. So I have 4 of those cards I can cut up. And I found wrapping paper pieces that they're glued to scrapbook page, and then I couldn't remove both sides of the paper, so this is sacrificed for this. So I would like to actually make something with these pieces that are on the scrapbook paper. So I could like punch her out or die cut her and then add her to something, and this little boy with the balloon. And this one, I could make a tuck spot out of it pretty much the way it is. I could trim it up a little bit, but that would make a cute tuck spot. And this one isn't on the scrapbook page, but I could make ephemera with that. So all these little images that were in with my scraps, they're actually ready to be made into ephemera. That little puppy, he's on scrapbook paper. So I do want to have a session with this. This, I didn't cut off this part because it says 1943. It was a little girl's birthday party. So the wrapping papers and napkins and even parts of the tablecloths were pasted into the scrapbook. So I want to make some stuff with these. This can go in with the collage items. And then these were in my scrap bins too, but these are napkins from that 1940s scrapbook. And I do want to create with these, so these will go in my napkin drawer. And some very old ledger paper. I'll put it with the other old ledger paper that I found. And these will go in with these little strips, wherever I'm going to put these so I can stamp on them. And again, if I don't use them soon, they're getting tossed. These will go with the dyed papers. And again, these are mixed media papers or watercolor papers that have been painted and then used, but these are the scraps. So I want to make something with those. A little scrap of anaglypta wallpaper. I'm going to put that in with the collage stuff. Painter's masking paper. I don't need to keep that, and I have a whole roll of that. And then I found a bunch of dyed papers. So I showed you the little boxes underneath the other part of my desk that has painted paper. So these will go in with that. So whenever I want painty papers like these, I know where to look. They won't be in 2 different places. This, I was using a book of the Little Prince as a kind of an art journal, and I didn't finish it, but this is one of the pages. I have gesso on that, and then I stenciled on that. So that's just a painted page. This is a catalog page of records that you could buy. I think it came with a record album. I'm not sure, but Decca catalog of records. So I just did some painty stuff on that. These may have been done when I did my Gina from the Rebookery did a series of videos on finding your style, and I did more pages than I needed, so I had extra. This is another heavy watercolor paper. So I have lots of pretty painted papers. Music page. I love the way this one looks. Of course, those are my colors, pink and the blue. I just laid a stencil on it so I could use up the paint, and then I did it again on that one, much lighter on that one. This one has some mica powder in it. It's very shiny and crinkly. Pretty cool. I stamped on that. This is music manuscript paper with stencils and sprays, stamping. So yeah, I have quite a few. This is on the back of a scrapbook paper. So I'm going to put that with my painted papers, and I still have to organize that collection of boxes too. So I don't think I'll have time to do anything right now. I just got things kind of sorted to know what I want to do. But I think I'm just going to grab some stamps, and I'm just going to stamp a little bit. You can hang around with me for that if you want to. Just grab the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 envelopes of Tim Holtz stamps in my cart over there. Let's see what I want to stamp. I haven't used all of these postcard stamps, so let's just stamp a bunch of postcard stamps, and I can cut them out or tear them out and have them handy to glue to things. That'll be fun. It is Sunday afternoon, like late Sunday afternoon. It's 4:25 right now, and I really need to chill. I need to sit down and relax. But I wanted a video for Monday, so I'm in here doing this, which I don't mind. I'm having fun doing this, but I want to make sure I leave time to relax because tomorrow is a busy day. Monday's always busy because I go to the flea market. Last week I couldn't because it was raining. But I do the flea market and the grocery shopping, and then I take my mom's groceries to her and do some chores for her. And it wears me out, really. Mondays wear me out. So I want to make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. But this is fun. But that means I'm going to leave this mess here to clean up tomorrow when I do get a chance to get down here. That looks very nice. Ooh, I love it. With this, I don't use this very much. And maybe I can use something out of this. I'll start with this. I've got that ruler, and I've got these skinny strips made for each other. Then I can use this on the side of a page, on a pocket, or break it up and use it in collages. I'll just have it on hand for when I want to use it. Came out beautiful. That's the edge of the stamp, so I can cut that off. That came out nice, though. I like to have a paper to blot my wet stamps on. Guess I'll just do it in black. What's this? Nocturne. I think that's black. It's not very dark, but it has a nice faded look to it. I like it. Okay, let's stamp the word photograph. Not sure if that will fit all the way on there, but we'll try it. The tails of the G's go slightly off, but I think it's good enough. Here's another advertisement. Patterson Drug Company. Or a label, I guess. I have one more label that I haven't used, and it's actually got a little space for writing on it. I like that stamp. I would love to have that in a bigger size. Okay, I've got some wider ones here, so let's find a stamp we can use with these. Could stamp this beautiful flower on this, and it would hang off it, but that would be okay. To use this in a bit of collage or something like that. Let's try it out and see how it looks. That paper's not big enough to stamp off. And I'll do this in the pretty burgundy also, the Chianti. I think I will, should have put this in the Misty before I inked it. So I'll just try using my hands to press it down. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just going to be a collage element. Ooh, but it is perfect. That's quite lovely. I'll stamp some script over here that I can use in collage. Like, I don't have enough collage stuff, right? Now, this could be left just like this, and used to make a pocket, a side pocket. That would be a pretty pocket, just like that. I like that script. So we'll do another one, a whole one. I have another plastic tote. I showed you the tote that I said had stuff from Lehman in it, but I didn't show you just going into the Nook. There's another plastic tote about the same size with the same situation going on. It has Lehman stuff in the bottom, and then I've stacked other stuff on top of it. And I think, if you remember, I bought some wood block rubber stamps. Where did I buy them? They were used, so they were really cheap. Was that a flea market? I think it was the flea market. And I haven't even tried them. They're just in that box, and I forgot about them. I'm not going to get them out right now, though. but I do want to try them. They're like decorative. They're flourishes and stuff like that, I think, from what I remember. Okay, and I want to do this one. It's like a billhead. Yeah, for a business, it's a decorative billhead. I think I used my strip one. This is a skinny one that's not as comfortable on the hands, but I think I already had the nice one out, but I don't know where it is. So we'll use that on this. That looks so nice. Mantles, costumes, and millinery. Silks, dresses, mantles, millinery, hosiery, linens, woolens, and carpets. Established 1780. Haven't used it a whole lot. Only the pieces that are cut around, because they were all fit together. I had to like break them apart. And then the edges of the stamps get ink on them, and then it leaves the ink on the page. So I trim them before I use them. So I'm going to trim this. It says stamp here with a little checkbox. And you can trim your rubber stamps. I just take those corners off. Otherwise, I would be getting corners, stamped corners on my images. So I'm just going to make a little piece of ephemera here. I'm going to put stamp here on it and then leave the rest. I have one more strip. Oh, I've got more, but I don't have time to do them all, these small strips. So a lot of things from here would be great on these small strips. I'll plan on doing that with those strips. But I have this larger one. I got more stamps than I thought I did. But they are decorative. That would be a nice background. Oh, they were in a bag. That's right. I did get them at the flea market, and they were all in a bag. So some of them, like this one, I wouldn't have picked out. I think it's pretty, but it's probably not one I would have used. So yeah, there's some of these are going to go in my shop. Anyway, I got to look in that tote when I was looking for those stamps. And it has bags of fabric, little small pieces of fabric that I got at the flea market that I forgot about. And from Lehman, I think it's trims in the bottom of the tote. So I can't wait. I'm going to go through that this week. So I thought maybe I could find something on this. Oh yes, that'll be great. I'll do the Misty again here. All right, I'm going to stamp the flower with the wine color. Or ink it. And the butterfly I will stamp with the green. And I don't need to double stamp it because it looks pretty good. Those are pretty, and I can make ephemera with that. And I'm going to say that's all we're going to do today. I got to play a little bit. That was fun. Thanks for coming along with me today. Tell me what you think about my state of the craft room. It's pretty messy, isn't it? But it will be shipshape again, because I don't like messes. So I had fun playing right now, and I hope you had fun watching. And I've got so many ideas swirling around in my head just from sorting through those pouches full of scraps, junk, trash, as other people would say it. If somebody bought this house and came in here and said, why did you keep all that stuff? They would have no idea what I would create with those and what you would create with those scrappy pieces. But they are not junk to us, are they? Well, okay, I'm going to stop babbling now. I'm going to let you go, and I will see you in the next video. And I hope you're having a creative day. Please give me a thumbs up and leave a comment. Bye.